Hello, Royal Family. Welcome back to my channel. Blessed be the name of the Most High. So, this is kind of like a part two to the video I did about the dark side to social media influence. And it was a story that this young lady shared. I used to watch this YouTuber like 20 years ago, and I forgot to include it in the video, so I apologize, guys. But I just felt like I should share her story, and this is all alleged. This is her story, not mine. So I was not there to witness anything, but she shared a story where she was a upcoming music artist. She lives in the UK, and she was just getting started, and trying to trying to get out there, get her music out there. And this was around the time where YouTube wasn't as popular, but it was doing something. It was getting there. And this was before they started like actually paying people for their content. And so she shared a story where the staff from the YouTube reached out to her. They sent her an invite to come out to, I guess it was like a meet and greet kind of thing, where other YouTubers could come out and everybody meet each other and whatever else they were going to do for the YouTubers. So she was excited about it, and she was like, yes, like, why not? So she decided to take some of her friends with her. I can't remember where they went. I don't know if it was in the UK or if they had to travel to get where they needed to go. I can remember, it was a long time ago, but I do remember her saying that her and her friends, they went together to this meetup location. And when they got there, everything seemed pretty cool at first. All the different YouTubers were out there. She was able to meet some of her favorite people that she likes to watch. And, people were taking pictures. They had their cameras out and kind of like vlogging. And, she thought it was pretty cool because now she can meet people and they can maybe collab on some things with each other. So, um, everybody's out there talking or whatever, and then these people come out and they tell them to come into the building. So they go into the building, and that's when things started to look a little sketchy. It was kind of dark in there, and it was a lot of lit candles. And she did insert some clips in the video, so I did see that part. And then these people came out from the back, and they had on these black hooded robes, and they came out, they didn't say nothing at first, but then, they started walking up to them. And so they were a little kind of scared, but she was like, we were young and dumb. We were kind of creeped out, but we were still just trying to, figure out what was going on, what they were doing. We thought maybe just some little joke or something. But yeah, they one came up to her and asked her like how far are you willing to get where you need to be? And she's just like, what do you mean? Like, is that a trick question? Like, what? And they're like, so like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up to get where you want to be? And she had to think about it because she was like, well, yeah, I want to be a really big music artist in the UK, and hopefully my music branch out and it goes further outside of the UK, like she want to be known nationwide. And she was like, I'm trying to get out there. So what you mean? And then she had to really, really think about the question, and she was like, it felt like they was trying to do some, you got to sell your soul kind of thing. And she was just like, from where I'm from, my background, like, nah, we don't even play with stuff like that. And she felt like they were trying to get them to be part of some type of ritual or be sacrificed. She was like, I don't know what was going on, but I know that I felt uncomfortable and I was ready to go. And she heard some chanting. They was already playing some weird music in the background. And then she heard somebody scream. And then that's when her and her friends, they just took off. They left up out of there. And she inserted clips where you could hear them running. You can see their feet because she had the camera pointed to the ground, and they got to a safe place where they could like slow down and catch their breath. And she kind of went into more detail about what she saw and how they felt or whatever. And I don't remember everything word from word, but I do remember her sharing like how she felt about it. She was just like, like that was kind of scary. And I don't know if that was real or if that was some kind of setup, they trying to play with us or what. She was like, but one thing I do know is that I'm not selling my soul just for some fame. She was like, I have to work hard. I will work my butt off until I get where I want to be with my music, but I'm not going to that extent because she was like, I come from a Christian background, and with I think she have like, even though she's British, but she's also Haitian, and she was like, we're known to have like, witchcraft practices and all that weird stuff. And she was like, and me and my family, we don't even get involved in stuff like that. And so she was just like, yeah, I wasn't feeling it. And for a while, I was just like, nah, I don't want to be invited to no more stuff when it comes to YouTube and whatever they trying to do. She was like, nah, I'm good. It took a while for her to say yes to an invite because that experience just changed her whole outlook on a lot of things and the direction of her music. And so she was just like, yeah, I never want to put myself in a situation like that just to get famous and be making money. She was like, nah, I'm good. She was like, if God wants me to be famous and he wants me to become rich off of my influence, then it will happen. But I'm not going to give up who I am, let them own me just so I can have a little bit of fame and riches. She was like, nah, I'm good on that. She was like, I may be young, I'm young and I may be a lot of things, but dumb is not one when it comes to stuff like that. So that was her story, and I thought that was really interesting. And I thought, maybe I should share that because I remember that, and just seeing a lot of influencers from the early 2000s that started off as Christian vloggers. Some of them would share like just different things in their everyday life as a believer. It may be them just doing like little short mini vlogs of their family dynamic, how they, start their day off, and how they have Bible study, and if they are into the singing part of it, then they would sing worship music and things like that and share the gospel. And now it's like they don't even do a lot of that stuff anymore. They're trying to keep up with the latest trends. They're trying to do all these different yoga poses. There's one young sister that I started watching early on in my walk, and she was such a beautiful soul. And I don't know what happened when I can't, I don't know if it was her husband who was already into that kind of thing, but she just went into the new age stuff. And I'm just like, what? Like, how did you go from being on fire for the Most High? And she had a beautiful voice. She will always sing for the Most High. And she never left him out of anything. She always gave him praises and always thanked him for everything that she had accomplished in life. And now she's doing some new age stuff. She has a whole channel dedicated to doing yoga poses. And I'm just like, her chanting and doing all these weird things, getting in touch with her chakras or whatever you want to call it. I'm just like, girl, how did you go from loving the Most High to new age stuff? You listen, like, y'all let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about these famous influencers that's very popular out here? Do y'all think they're into some stuff? Y'all think they doing a little bit more than what they say to get where they at? What y'all think about it? Let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in. May the Most High bless you all.